camping situation. Now you got it.
Okay, say that again.
I said I spent a lot of time doing camping and being in the nature,
Mm-hmm.
with herbs and all of the stuff. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I did pretty good.
Yeah, you did.
Haven't got to the beach yet,
Not yet.
but time is still on my side.
That is right. Oh my gosh, I love your Jen. I know you made a vision board. Do you have your vision board handy?
I don't have it. It's in the office still.
Oh, it's in your office. Okay. Well, do you know if is there anything that you accomplished?
I accomplished a lot.
Okay, so name like two things.
Uh, Loving me and relationships.
Okay, can we see your face or what are you doing?
Wrapping presents.
Okay, can we watch you wrap present? There we go. I want to see your beautiful face. Okay, I don't care. You look beautiful. Okay, all right. That's perfect. Can you set it like right there so I can see like half of you?
Yeah, I'm trying. I've got it on socks in the moment.
You're fine. Okay. You know, I saw a quote the other day that said wrapping presents is folding laundry's asshole cousin.
Oh shit.
That's some
Okay.
true shit right there.
Yeah, like it's like, yeah. Okay. So back into this. Oh, somebody just tried to get in and I wasn't paying attention. So whoever that was, please come back. But okay. So let's get going. All right. So what I want to start with, so we created these vision boards as Darla and Jen showed. They also created vision boards. And for me, the last 3 years have been the years that I've created vision boards and actually like followed them. For me, let's see, on mine, since I asked you guys to do it. So like on mine, I got a new car. I saved $1,000. I got certified in coaching mastery, which was like right here. That's a skill I wanted to master, which I'm never gonna like fully master it all the way. You know, it's always gonna be like a thing that's going, but I need that to be like in my realm of things that I'm focusing on. And then, you know, I never went on vacation. That didn't happen. Well, kind of. I guess the hotel kind of was. And the love department is better, but it is not where I wanted it to be, right? So, but whatever, it is. So at the end of the day, it's not what we meet, right? It's the person we're becoming as we're going after those things. And the things that we liked last year might be different this year. It's all about taking the information, as you guys know, like being mindful throughout your day is the basis, and it's taking in the information. And here's the 5. So there's 5 things that make up our life, our reality. Okay, so I'm going to start here because before even creating a vision or, you know, because going back over the last year, we can get into shame of like, oh, I didn't reach that thing and I didn't do that thing. Like, it's not even about reaching things. And I know with Darla, this was a thing where like not to set goals. It was because it was like, it's not really the tangible thing we want. It's the experience that we want to have as we're going after that thing. It's the feeling we want to have to be in alignment with our values. And we're going to really talk about values this year. I didn't really talk about them last year. I've learned a lot more of what my values are this year. And they are magical as well. So the 5 things though that form our reality is our circumstances, our thoughts about what happens, right? Our emotions that those thoughts create, and then our behavior, like whatever that feeling causes us to do. And then 5 is the results in our life. So if we're not liking the results in our life, it is because we're making something mean something that's causing us to not take action or take crazy action and be crazy bitches. So it's like the one thing that you can do all year long that I say over and over and over and over is, what do you make things mean? So like Jen, I'm not going to call you out. I'm not going to talk about
Yes,
your,
dear.
I'm not going to talk about your issues. Okay. At all. But there's a lot of energy being shook up in your world. Okay. Right. So it's like,
Say that again.
and that's what's happening. It's because you have gotten more into alignment with like what you want, loving yourself, like learning, you know, building this relationship with yourself. And it's pissing a lot of people off. Like, that's what's happening. And it's like that's exactly what's happening, because you're doing what you want to do instead of doing what other people want you to do. And that's exactly where we want to be. Like, honestly, I'm not trying to be like you, I'm whatever you want to, like, you're doing what you want to do.
Right.
So that's an achievement. That's an accomplishment. So anybody else, if you're watching the replay, if you're watching on
Pissing people
Facebook,
off is an accomplishment. That's awesome.
do what? Say that again.
Pissing people off is an accomplishment. That's awesome.
Darla is the shit stirrer. So
They call it the chaos queen.
the chaos queen.
Oh, that should have been my name. Chaos Queen.
Chaos queen.
I know that's right.
It's not bad, is it, Darla?
No, once you understand that that's your function, that that's what you're supposed to be doing, then it's a lot easier than when it just seems like you cause a lot of trouble and nobody likes you. But it always ends up being better. It does end up being better, but in the meantime, you're the mean girl.
Darla, it's so silly because it's my cousin and she's mad because I'm happy in a relationship and she's pissed about it.
Yeah, people don't want you to be happy if they're not.
And then my best friend of 20 some years is causing a muck on some stupid things.
Okay. Well, so I don't want to interrupt you guys. So can we do this at the end? So then I'm going to get through. I know there's a couple people watching. But yes, keep that in mind, Jen. Darla's definitely a good one to talk to about having that stuff. Not that I don't. You guys know I have a lot of chaos happening in my life as well. But this is going to take us into the beliefs, okay? The beliefs. So I'm going to take you guys. I made this little, if you see this over here, I don't know how I'm going to do this because I don't have a stand for my computer, but I want to talk about the beliefs. You guys write this down, and I will, and I did create a PDF for this, but I want you guys to write these down because then this like reprograms your brain. Okay. So the 5 beliefs this year, if you guys put these on your value board. So we're going to create this, we're going to start creating this value board, right? This is your manifesto for this year. We'll just go ahead, and if you guys want to come back and do this or whatever, but this is going to be the board that you look at for like, okay, when your vibration goes down or when you get out of alignment, you feel like you're worrying about what somebody else thinks too much, or you're taking something defensively, or, you know, something you get rejected in some way. The goal is to stay as aligned with our true self, which is not in anger, not in envy. We're not sad. We're not depressed. Like are the part of us that's when we feel those lower vibrating emotions, that's not our true self, right? So like we have to be able to move through those emotions and raise our vibration to connect with our higher self. And I know that we haven't done that yet. We'll do that here in a minute, but I know the 2 that's on here now have done that many times. Okay. As far as, and so whoever's watching on Facebook, if you want to put in a comment of like, I'd like to connect right now, because I connected before I got on here, and I want you guys to get in the habit of connecting like being able just to do it, meaning whatever shit's going on around you is 3D stuff, right? Like, so the 5 beliefs, one of them is you have to look past your current circumstances, right? You have to be able to look past what is going on right now in your life. If there's shitty things happening, that's what your energy and your thoughts and your feelings have created up until this point, right? That's just not, because we can get, when we're in the 3D, when we're still connected with our ego, right? So really this is creating from a place of being connected to love and your higher self and your soul. When we're connected to ego, like it's a good example is Jen not doing what other people want her to do. And sometimes that can be out of being like spiteful, like I don't want to do what other people, but I don't think that's really where you're coming from, Jen. It's more of this is who I am and this is what I choose. And so, yeah, you're not trying to prove anything. It's you really love you. This makes it, and also what we've talked about, it makes her feel good, but also without that person in her life, she would feel good anyway. That is where we want to get to, like where none of our circumstances determines how we show up. That is taking our power back completely. Like if you feel like you're being a rag doll and you're just being thrown around by your emotions and other people, that's where your power is. So that's really step 1 of this whole process, is taking your power back, knowing where it's at, and then learning how to take it back. And you do that then with these 5 beliefs that I shared. So 1, seeing beyond your current circumstances. So, the belief is my current circumstances don't define me, right? They don't define me at all. So what do I need to change? How do I need to think differently in order to create different results? And then the second belief is I can choose where my focus goes. Like these are so important. This could be the whole workshop itself. Fuck the vision board and fuck the value board. Like you can choose where your focus goes. Is it going to focus on drama? Are we going to focus on what other people are not liking about our life, or what someone else is saying we're doing wrong? Because they will, as you guys can see, who's watching on Facebook or watches the replay, your life gets all fucking crazy because you start to like stop painting the picture other people want to see. And so, and then though, it's on you to where you put your focus. So for example, when we're in a relationship and the person keeps texting us over and over and over and over, and we're trying to work, I know a lot, like, where does our focus go? That is really why, like, our focus goes to responding to that text, or does it? We can choose not to do that, right? We can choose what, like, there's someone that I work with who threw a little fit about something over the week, or threw a little fit, and I am choosing. I think she was in here. I don't think she left. I don't know. Maybe. I don't really care because it's not my problem. She had a problem that I took pictures and posted them, and I didn't of the party that she did or whatever. I don't even know. And I might not know the whole story, but I don't even care. It's other people. When other people get their feelings hurt by you just living your life, that's their problem. Okay? That is not that, and it doesn't belong anywhere in our focus. Like Jen, you showed up to this. This is what you're focusing on. Your relationship, that's what you're focusing on. Your kid, like, it's not.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Unless you do. Like, here's another thing. Unless you do focus on that, and you can, that's a choice, but that's not going to move the needle towards where we want to be. That's not going to be, that's not our value board, and our vision board aren't going to be working in that sense. That's really why they're there, is to keep us reminded of, okay, this is what I'm going after. I'm not here. So yeah, Jen, I definitely want to talk more about your, like, in a little bit. I have another example yours thing would go good with. So then the next one is to release your past stories, release your identity of who you were, yesterday even. Like, we're constantly evolving every day. The only thing that matters is who you are in this moment. So for example, if you are in the beginning of your healing journey and you're still tied to old stories of being broke, let's go with that one, or not being good with managing money. That was mine, right? And it's just getting better. It just got better this year. But what are those old stories? Even ones of, I don't set goals, Darla. That was one of yours, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't set goals. And it wasn't that you don't set goals, it's just the way they were being explained. And and even like, because they're just guideposts. Goals are guideposts, and they're not even real, you guys. We make them up, right? We make them in our brains. Like, goals aren't tangible. They're just these ideas that we have in our head that drive our action. So if those goals aren't aligned with our values, so like for me, freedom is one of my values. And so when I was working for RCI and I was stuck to a chair and a computer for 8 hours a day, I could literally feel it. Remember, Darla, in my stomach, like intuitively, I'm like, I can't do this anymore, because it was so out of alignment with who I am. So that's what I want to ask you guys right now. Like, what is a value? Like, so the goals that you set last year, and I know some of you watching might not have set goals last year or made a vision board, but to return to those goals and say, is this following? Oh, here's Abby. Abby's going to show us what she, hopefully, I want her to show us how she's creating her goals. So I'm excited she's here. Hi, Abby.
Hey, Abby.
So what was I saying? Oh, the value. So that's what we're going to get to see if your goals from last year, like, let's see where your values come into those. And I think that's going to make it easier this year to really stay focused, because a value for you, Darla, is community, right? Like, that's a value, right?
Yes.
And connection. Or, you let me know, like, what is one of your values right now, of like, if you want to share one of your values.
Well, one of my most important ones that I told you right from the get-go is integrity.
Right, integrity.
That is one. But yes, a cooperative community is another thing that is, but I guess I don't know how.
Okay.
It's a goal.
Yeah. Well, and so community would be the value, and that, because you want that community. So we'll get to that when we create the board, but I just wanted to give an example of like what I mean with values drive us. We have to find the motivator, right? Or our family. Does family drive you? Does, for me, feeding the homeless does not drive me, but sharing my story and teaching drives me. That doesn't make me a bad person, right? But it's just, that is who I am. And I just discovered that this year. And I'm okay with saying that, because I used to feel really bad for not wanting to go feed the homeless. Like, I felt really bad. I don't anymore. Okay, so let's finish with these 5 beliefs. Hi, Abby. So the 5 beliefs that we're going to start this whole thing out with, that we can write on our value board when you guys start to make it. I'll just recap really quick since Abby just got on here. So 1, think beyond our current circumstances, right? They're not, what's going on right now is not what's going to be happening in even a month if you didn't want it to, right? It's just, that does not define us, or does it? Right? You get to choose what you focus on. That's number 2. I get to choose what I focus on all the time. Do I want to focus on what I don't have or what's going wrong, or am I going to focus on what is going right?
Like 5, 4.
We're on.
Brittany, how'd you get up?
What?
This is 3.
This is 3. Yes, 3.
Okay.
You were going to do 5 though. So yeah, think beyond current circumstances, choose where your focus goes. Release your past stories of who you were, like release the identity even from yesterday, right? Of like who you, and not all of it. I'm saying release the parts of you that are keeping you stuck from taking action, right? Or keeping you thinking, I'm not good with money. That is an identity belief. That's tied to your identity. And is that true? And that's how we clear a limiting belief, is we say, is this true? Is this really true? Well, no. Are my bills paid every month? Yes. Do I have so you go through those questions of questioning the belief. So, and it's so important, because to move forward, if you think you're bad with money, we're not going to make more. Right? We have to have the capacity to hold that amount, whatever money we're wanting to make, or starting a business, or, starting to step out as a teacher, a leader, or, teaching yoga, if anybody, or whatever. Like, who am I as a teacher? Who am I as a leader? That's going to push the needle forward, because you have a purpose and a mission, and that is to share your magic, right? Of whatever your magic is, the only magic you can bring to the world. So the fourth is, you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. I think that I should have made that number one. I think I did. If you don't believe you're capable of making shit happen in your life, you're not going to do it. It's just not going to happen. This whole training is going to be pointless if you don't believe you're capable of making change in your life, or you're capable of taking different action, or you're capable of getting that job that you've wanted forever, or capable of so believing in your capability of living from a different place. Instead of living from ego, you're living from love, right? And you're connecting with your higher self, which is not dragged down by chains and old stories. Your higher self knows everything that's about to happen, and wants to download those things into the world. So, and then the last one is total acceptance. And this is, Darla, what I was talking about earlier. Nothing is good or bad. Everything is valuable information. Nothing is good or bad. There are no positive, negative emotions. There's no good or bad people. There's no good or bad. Everything is just neutral. Everything it is. So what I mean by that is, this past year has been my biggest year of awareness ever, to where I was literally watching myself all year with curiosity and love at my relationship, right? My relationships, even my friendships, my kids, or my relationships with my kids, with my mom, at work, with my coworkers. I was just here, and I was just observing of, what do I think about when things happen? How am I responding to my drama? How much am I focusing on it versus shifting to focus on something that's going to get me closer to where I want to go? I was just here, and I took down a shit ton of documentation. You guys know that is one of the most important things. Document where you're at now, which is what a vision board will do. It's also documentation of, this is where I was at this time this year. So that was my year. And I highly recommend that if that's something because what it did for me was showed me what belief, back to the 5 elements of a life, right? So our circumstances, our thoughts, our feelings, our behaviors, and then our results. That is literally the 5 parts of a life. That is how our reality is created. Something happens, we make it mean something. That thought creates a feeling. That feeling either drives us or it doesn't, or it makes us stay stuck. And that behavior, that action, creates a result. So we can go backwards if we want to consciously create something. What's the result that we want? Okay, what is the action we need to take? Okay, how do we need to feel in order to be motivated? We need confidence, right? So what's the belief that we need to have going forward? Which I gave you 5 beliefs that you can always go to, right? I completely believe in myself. I am beyond my current circumstances. I'm releasing the past. Just say it and it will happen. Okay. So that's really the first step of knowing where you're at right now. Also, releasing the past, getting lighter. So even going up through the chakras. So we can do that right now. Let's go ahead and go up through the chakras really quickly. So anybody that is new to this, or you haven't seen me do this before, or you guys have a different way of doing this, it's just a quick way to get connected to that higher part of ourselves instead of being chained to the current circumstances of what's happening in our life. All right. Now, I'm not saying we need to completely disengage and pretend like we are, like, I don't know, stop paying attention to our kids and things like that. That's not what I mean. I mean, we can be grounded in our current life, but also knowing that we are capable of creating something beyond what we're currently experiencing. Just go ahead and just take a deep breath, close your eyes. And I'm going to go ahead and light this white candle. And we're doing good. It's 10:30. And I also have a black kyanite. I don't know if you guys have any crystals with you right now, but I have a black kyanite and then a sunstone. These are the two that were calling to me. So I'm just putting those over here to the side. So just take another deep breath in, have your spine up straight so the energy can move up and down your spine. And then I just want you to feel your feet on the floor. And feel the support underneath you. And then seeing those either tree roots or a rope or whatever comes to your mind's eye, your imagination of how you're going to anchor your energy into the earth. And so I see tree roots coming out of the bottom of my feet, growing into the earth, down into the dirt, in the rocks and the clay, down into the middle of the earth, the core of the earth, and just wrapping around the core of the earth, anchoring me there. And so any feelings of anxiety or flightiness, just allowing that energy to go down into those roots and just transmuting into positive energy, just going back out into the atmosphere. And then we're going to pull energy up from the earth, from Mother Earth, and we're going to thank her for using her energy, just pulling that up through those roots into the soles of our feet that go up into our legs, to our ankles, up our calves, our knees, up to our thighs, and just going into the root chakra. And allowing the energy to be where your awareness is right now. And just allowing it to be there in your root chakra. Feeling the heat in your lower back. And if it's tingling, how does it feel? And seeing the red in your mind's eye, just seeing that color. And knowing that we're going to release fear in this chakra. So releasing fear. And as we breathe in together, that red light gets brighter. And then as you exhale, all that fear and uncertainty is released. And we're going to replace that with surrender and trust and presence, that you're here in this body with me right now, in this moment in time, and you're here to stay. You're here to share a message. And that's what we're going to find out what that is. Now going up into the sacral, seeing that orange ball of light at your womb. And this is where that shame and the guilt from the last year or many years, if you've never done this process before, of the guilt of what you didn't accomplish, or the guilt of what you're not doing as a mother, or what you are failing at, quote unquote. So as we breathe in, that orange light gets brighter. And then as you exhale, just releasing that shame and that guilt in this moment and replacing it with pleasure and joy and creativity of your higher self, of your soul, that soul gift that you have of creation, creating something new in your life that's more aligned with who you are at your core. And then let's go up into the solar plexus, and this is yellow. So just seeing that yellow right above your belly button, about 2 inches above it. And this is where you're holding the self-doubt. So the doubt that you're unable to make change in your life happen, or the doubt that you're able to reach your New Year's resolution, or you're able to experience a different reality. The doubt in yourself and the lack of power, handing out your power everywhere. Where is your power? Taking your power back from who you were yesterday and the stories. And so let's release those stories. So breathing in, that yellow light gets brighter. And then as we exhale, just releasing that doubt and those stories of the past and replacing them with the stories of the present, in the present moment, of whatever you decide for them to be in this session together, and replacing the power. So you can even say, I hold the power here. The power is here. I feel empowered in this moment, whatever works for you. And going up into the heart. And this is pink and green for me. Pink is self-love and loving ourselves, and green is growing and sharing that love with other people. And so depending on where you're at in your journey, just seeing that green and pink light get brighter. And we're going to release the anger and the resentment of what we didn't achieve this year. And we're going to release the regret of past choices. I feel this so big right now, right here with everybody, of whatever choices you didn't make or the mistakes that you made. If you're stuck in how life could be, releasing all of that right now. So as you breathe in, that light gets brighter. And then as you exhale, just releasing all of those, that what if, or my life could look this way. And instead, my life does look this way for a purpose. There is a reason for the pain. There's a reason that I've experienced all of these or made those choices. And so replacing that with love for yourself and forgiveness. And now up into the throat. And this is light blue. And dishonesty is this is what's keeping us from living bigger, from stepping into who we really are. This dishonesty, or this listening to how other people talk about us, or who they say we are, or who we think that we are telling ourselves that we're not enough. So like releasing those statements to find your truth, to find what's really true for you. And that only comes through feeling what feels right, and that self-trust. And so as we breathe in, that light blue light gets brighter. And then as you exhale, releasing the lies that you tell yourself, releasing the fear of expressing yourself and being too much. So whatever you are fearing of that being yourself is going to make other people feel a type of way, just releasing all of that. And then replacing it with truth and the confidence that your self-expression is your magic. That's actually what you're supposed to bring into the world, is your words and your thoughts and your experiences. And now moving up into the third eye. And this is indigo. And this is just a lot of blockage with focusing on what's not going well. So we have to release that in order to open up to receive more abundance and to connect with our higher self. And so as we breathe in, This indigo light gets brighter. And then as we exhale, releasing the lack, the stories of lack, the focus on what's not working, and shifting our focus to what is working and the abundance that is waiting for us. Also the intuitive gifts. So if you're relying on logic and facts and knowing things and seeing them in black and white, and you're unable to see the unseen, like we're releasing that here to embrace the possibility of things not looking the way they do right now in 3 months from now, 6 months from now, to actually birth that vision. So what do you see for your life in the next 3 months? And just allowing that to come in and use your intuitive abilities. So you're hearing, you're seeing. It doesn't have to be seeing. It could be hearing. It could be tasting. It could be feeling. So whichever of those resonate with you. And then finally at the crown, so just at the top of your head, that blue or that light purple or silver, whatever color comes up for you of your crown. This is where we have to stop feeling separate. That our life is worse than others, or we have it so bad, or other people just don't understand. So releasing that energy, it's just a thought. That's what they are. So as we breathe in, that light purple light gets brighter above our head. And then as we exhale, it opens up like a funnel, like a tunnel to the heavens, and we're embracing connection and our belief in our own power, that we're capable of making amazing things happen in our life with our energy. And so if you want to see yourself, your higher self reaching down and like you holding hands, or if you want to see it as a plug, like you're plugging into the universe, I just see it as my higher self pouring light down into my crown, my third eye, my throat, my heart, my solar plexus, my sacral, my root. And I see this pillar of light that goes up and down my body, where I'm connected to Mother Earth, I'm connected to my higher self, and I have this pillar of light in going up and down of love. It's pure love. My ego is in the back seat. And then also creating that shield around all of our energy in this container, in this room of just protecting our energy together, to where this can be a high vibrational space as we create our visions together. And then whenever you're ready, you just open your eyes. All right. So as you guys come back, that was about 10 minutes. So we're good. All right. So now we connected. How are you guys feeling? Are you feeling a little bit better? Are you feeling a little bit lighter? And if you are not fully engaged in doing that, I highly suggest to go back to that spot at 10:32 and do that, because that's what births this whole process, is what we just did. And it takes your attention, not to be, because I'll tell you why if you haven't created the good things in your life you want to create or manifest, it's because your focus is everywhere, right? This is why we're only going to focus on 3 things today, creating 3 experiences, our vision for 2024, not 5. Because the more places your focus is in, the more scattered it is. And it's 10x. It's the theory of 10xing your results. If you're focusing on a ton of things, you're going to get like 2x of your results or whatever. I don't know the specific story of it, but just know that you focus on one thing this year. Oh my gosh. You would 100% make more money. You would 100% get a new car or experience, go to the beach, moving to the beach even. If that was your only focus, like that would be it. But I know that we're moms, we're single moms. Well, Abby, I know you're married, but we're basically, a lot of us were moms. So we have to take care of other people and we have grandkids and we have a family. However, that is along with it. It doesn't have to be a separate thing. That's what I learned this year of like, if Izzy interrupted me when I was meditating, I'd be like, oh my gosh, you interrupted me. But now it's like she's just part of it. Like my whole experience is just part of it. So, all right, let's get going with this. Let's do the next thing. Okay. Values and values. We're going to get back into values now. What is one of your top values? Anybody want to share? What is one of the values that you find in your experiences? So like, for example, for me, again, freedom in my work. I have to be able to show up as my best self. I can't be chained to one position all day, to a desk. I need to have that flexibility of being able to be here, there, and whenever I really want to do, as long as I'm doing my work. That's how I show up the best. Does anybody else want to share something with their values of what they've realized this year? Maybe an observation of some sort. If not, that's okay. We'll move on. But I truly like, this is what is going to change things. Hi, Abby.
I've been here, I promise. My daughter decorated my face, so I finally cleaned it off.
No, I know.
I just wanted to say mine, I put down as open, honest communication.
Ooh,
I want people to be able to come to me and admit the truth before it's even asked. I don't want to have to go up and be like, oh, did you, I don't know, like to my son especially,
yeah.
like I want him to be able to come home and be like, Mom, this is what happened before. A teacher has to call me, and even if it's minor, an incident,
Yeah.
like teachers don't, I want it open and honest, like right up front. So
Right.
for 2024, I'm going to work on how I can keep accomplishing getting that out of my kids and then
Okay.
displaying it and like working with it.
Yeah. So
That was my big
how is
value.
that? And I love how you said that, how I'm going to like, that's how this year I'm going to work on. So how do you think you could get it out of your kids? What's your thoughts on that?
What with me, I've been working on myself with CBT and
Yes.
DBT and just kind of all those different practices like they
Mhm.
say to work on with kids, and I've been working on it for myself and
Yes.
apparently for my inner child.
I
So now I'm
love
like, well, I need
DBT.
to
Yes.
bring my kids into it more, which I use it on my kids, or like I'll
Yeah.
find myself, oh, this is a situation where I should lay everything out in front of my kids and let them choose with all the
Right.
information. So being
Yeah.
able to do that more intentionally, listening to more habits or like how to accomplish
Mhm.
that, making sure I'm not reacting in a way that is shutting my kids down from giving that
Right.
information. Because if
Mhm.
right now he's naturally in that, I don't want to
Right.
close it off. I want to keep it coming.
Right. I
So
love
it'll
it.
look more like, yeah, finding more resources to help with that, or just even surrounding
Yes.
myself with more people like that
Right.
so that I can learn hands-on
Yeah.
and see it in work.
Yeah. So on your vision board, so what have you, do you have what you showed me the other day or what you sent
I
me?
don't have it with me. I'm at my mother-in-law's, but
Okay.
I took a picture of it.
That's okay. Yeah, you did. So I'll try to show. So Abby sent me how in her brain, how it's working. So I'll try to get it. It's on my cell phone. It's on my phone. Um, and I want to say this because, I want you guys to know that it doesn't have to look the way I'm doing it, right? It doesn't have to look like, I want you guys to have your own process for how to have intention in your life of like, and because going from living unintentionally to living intentionally requires a shift of first those 5 beliefs that I shared with you guys before, right? And we'll go over them again at the end to make sure they're on your value board. But it's having a desire of, what is it I want my life to look like? Being intentional. Like it's freaking crazy when you don't think that like, it's crazy when you're living on accident and you're just going and you're reacting all the time to, okay, wait a minute, I can actually have a say in how I experience my life. Like, I think it takes that shift, and it doesn't have to be this like magnificent, huge vision, but just like with Abby, it's how she connects with her kids and how they take. So I want you guys to keep that in mind, but she's using the chakras. She had it in like a circle. I wish that hold on, maybe I can bring it up on here.
It was like a clock.
It's
and
like
then
a
I
clock.
did the root
Okay.
chakra January, February, the
Okay.
sacred chakra March, April, the solar May,
So
June.
month by month.
Yeah. So then I have 2-month increments for focus because I have a super short attention span.
Right.
And
me
then I
too.
thought I would do my focus based
Here.
on the chakra.
That's what it looks like. So, but she did it in like a clock. So that's how, so it's not like, and it's kind of similar to something I like when I use the chakras, I do go by, okay, so in the root chakra, it is the basic, the physicality of life, like and this is also how, we'll go through how an idea is channeled through our chakras. That's pretty much, I mean, there's so many different ways you can use the chakras that I love it that Abby's using it in that, like in her way. It's a framework, right? It's something to say, this is what my brain's going to focus on right now. Like, and in the root, it would be being here. So like, I have a lot of Veda energy, and I think Abby, you said you do too. I know Darla, you're very Kapha. But so for me, I do have to do a lot of work in the root chakra as far as grounding and being in the present moment. That's why presence is such a big part of my vocabulary. I mean, that will even go on the vision board. It could, are just the words that you're going to say more this year, because with manifesting, it is being specific. It is feeling grateful and appreciation, turning up your dial, right? Watching your words and taking action and surrendering, which that's pretty much the process right there. But it's like, it's with the chakras, the words, the throat chakra, right? So that compartmentalizes. That's why I love the chakra. That's why I will forever teach on them and use them in all the ways, because they're just fucking amazing. So, okay. So step 3 is to discover your values. And if you're not sure, if you're saying, oh, it's family, oh, it's honesty, oh, it's that, like, just because you think that's the values you should have, that's where I was. I was like, oh, I value connection, which I do value connection. Connection is a huge one for me. Authenticity is 100% a huge one for me. At Turning Point, I've really been able to, like, because I can just show up as who I am there without any pretending at all. And that is what being in those environments is what allows us to grow and evolve, because we're not being pushed into a box. And so, yeah, that's how my values have really came out. So, there's also another way that I've used to figure out what I want. And if you guys writing all this down, because we're just mapping it out right now. So as you can see back here, this is my, like, right here is my work that I did last night and I'm going to take you guys through that. But something else you can ask yourself right now, if you're not sure what you want, say, what do I want in my life, my career? What do I want with my family? What do I want with, go through the life areas. If you guys don't have a wheel of life, I'll give you one. I think I've posted one in the group before. But ask, what do I want? There's 3 key questions. What do I want? And you can even go through each of the chakras and do this. What do I want when it comes to my physical, then the second is, what do I not want? And then the third is, what do I want instead? So those 3 questions are what help me evaluate and assess my life of, like, and I do this through feeling. Abby, I know, sorry. I know the feeling. And if that could be a goal too, of like, I want to feel I want to know what I'm feeling more, because that's where all of it kind of, I want to know what I'm feeling. But I feel, so during my day when I do the energetic check-in, so these are daily habits that you guys, these are the daily habits that will get you to where you want to go, of doing an energetic check-in 3 times a day, if not more, whenever you feel a type of way. How do I feel? And if you're not sure what you feel, that's what you feel. Okay, I'm going to feel that. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to allow it, and I'm not going to change it. And then ask, okay, what if I don't want this? So like if our vibration goes down, this is what I used to do. When my vibration would go down, number one, I'd be like, okay, who has my power right now? Who just said something? What just happened? Who rejected me to where my vibration went down? And I would answer that. Okay, so my partner. Okay, right now he has my power. All right, how can I show up anyway for myself? So I would journal, or I would be like, okay, I have to change the thoughts I'm thinking. So I would do that. And then I would say, okay, what do I want instead? And then this is when the universe literally sent me a person to show me what it felt like to be accepted by my partner. It wasn't the same partner. He went to jail. And then I met someone else, and because I'd never experienced what it was like to be fully accepted by my partner. And so this person I started dating completely accepted me and allowed me to be who I was. He knew my past, and it was just amazing to feel that. But then one day he just stopped talking to me, and it broke my heart. And I remember writing on Instagram, or I took a picture of myself, and I was like, my heart is broken, but I'm going to be happy anyway. Like, I remember writing that post. And then I was like, oh my gosh, now I know what it feels like to be accepted by somebody. So that's what I mean about your challenges, the shitty things that happen in your life. They're actually showing you, like, the universe is like, this is what it feels like to be loved. So now go take it and you can experience it somewhere else. So that's what documentation is for, is like, always document your shit, because it's gonna, and to pay attention. Okay. So if you don't know what you want, those are 3 questions that you can be asking yourself all the time, and go through each of the chakras or go through each of the life areas. Like, I'm leaving this really up to you. I used the feng shui map, right? For this one. It was easy. That's what I did last year. Like, this was the money corner. This is wanted to be a leader. I don't know what that is. Oh, and then the love. And like, I did it that way last year. This year, I think I'm going to do it a little differently. And I'll show you guys later how I do it. So the 3rd step is, what is important to you in your life? And then the 4th is now to go through those areas and name something you want, right? But 3 things. I want you guys to whittle it down to 3 things. And that's what we can do in the coaching here in a minute. I'm just going to open it up to anybody that wants to like really dive into this, as far as what is it that I should specifically focus on. And we're going to set, I say 3 to 5, but I'm telling you guys, 3 really clean, focused goals to focus on is going to move you further. And it doesn't have to be any specific thing. It doesn't have to be a tangible thing, but something you want to experience, or something you want to do, or whatever. And then 5 is actually design the boards. Okay. So that is the process of how to do it. But you first set up your mind, then you set up your energy, and then you set up the scene. So I will post these. So 1, get into the present moment. 2, connect and channel through your chakras. 3, get clear on your values and beliefs. I gave you guys 5 beliefs to get you started. And then 4, you set the goals, right? And then we break them down to quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily, right? The daily things you need to do in order to reach those, right? So you guys literally will have like a plan to follow step by, like, as much as possible. And then I would love to support you for, of course, in the group, or if you want to work together, all of that. And so, and then the 5 parts of life, right? The 5 parts of life of circumstances, thoughts, feelings, behaviors, and results. So if you keep all of this information in one place and keep going back to it every single, whenever, like I have like review time for myself, like every month to go over and see if I'm in alignment, if I've fallen out of alignment with my goals. And then my value board, I wanted to show you guys really quickly. So this is my value board. This is what I have hanging up, if you guys can see that here. So like my mission is, so it's my manifesto basically, you guys, and this is what I've made one of these for like the past 3 years, I think, of what my mission is. So like to guide others back to their truth, heal from codependency so they can follow what excites them without feeling guilty about it. That's literally my mission in the world. And then my values of like taking responsibility, like that's really big for me. I've realized that's also is like someone taking responsibility is a big part for me. Forgiving myself, authenticity, curiosity, love, and then my core beliefs. And the ones I gave you are on here, but there's 10 of them. And these are the core beliefs that I will put over onto another board. I will always follow these core beliefs, which is, everyone is doing the best they can with the resources and knowledge available. If you believe that, even with our kids, right? If you get really triggered by your kids, if you keep in mind, everyone is doing the best they can with the resources available, it shifts your energy. It brings in this compassion, okay, for this person or this child or this whatever, our kid who is just like, whatever. And I was like, oh wait, they're doing the best they can with the resources they have. It just makes a shift in your whole thing. Also, you will never please everyone. Disappointing others doesn't define your worth or how good or bad you are. That was a big one for me. Someone's behavior does not define them. That's another one. You are in charge of your mind. Therefore, you're in charge of your results. I'll say that again. You're in charge of your mind. Therefore, your results. The map is not the territory. Respect others' model of the world. So, when you had a spiritual awakening, but your partner didn't, or your best friend didn't, or your coworkers or whatever, and we're like, oh, well, then you're wrong because you don't believe in energy like I do. That will never get you anywhere. Respect that other people have their beliefs and respect them. They don't have to believe like we do, right? They don't have to do that. To be like, doesn't mean we're going to hang out with them a whole lot, but I mean, they can still do that. Also, their words are not the actual event. This is so big. Oh my gosh. Their words are not the actual event, just their interpretation. Their words are not the actual event, just their interpretation. It's their perception, their frame of mind. So when somebody else is telling you, so even a friend is like, da, 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 this person did this. Or if you work somewhere and you have coworkers that are like, this person does this. If you can be like, in your mind, you're like, that's their interpretation. And like, still just be there for them. It's just, we stop attaching so much to stories, right? We allow people to be who they are. Oh my gosh. And Abby, with your kid, with like our kids, when we can allow our kids to be exactly who they are all the time, it's like, I would give anything to like be that with my mom was like that, I mean, and it's okay though. I turned out okay, but still, like, I don't know. And then everyone begins with a positive intention. Even rapists and murderers, they do begin with a positive intention. At some point, their ancestors were quite messed with. I don't know. This can go really deep. Those are NLP prerequisites or whatever, presuppositions. NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. It's like the map of the mind. Abby, I really think that you would like it. Those are the beliefs that have helped me show up and be connected to my soul for people. So, okay, guys, I'm going to open this up. for anybody that wants some coaching on the whole process of creating a vision for 2024. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Or if you need to look up like pictures and things online to get, or on Pinterest even, to get your brain going, you can do that. I have a whole bunch of printouts and magazines and all those, because it's a creative process. And Abby, I know yours needs to be a creative process, right? Of like, and it's the process of making it. You want to be in this higher vibration when you sit down to do this. That's the key. Not connected to the bullshit that happened like yesterday, or the fight that we're having with our friend, or, you know, if we're connected to those things, like, we're not going to create from our soul, from our higher self. It's just not possible. So again, we get to choose what we focus on. We don't have to focus on all the bullshit. Okay, well, if you guys, let me go ahead and see if there's anything else I missed here. Because with CBT, so like what Abby was saying with CBT, with what the 5 things of life are, that's CBT. Only we call it the model at the life coach school. But that is how your reality is created. If you just literally only know those 5 things, like just keep that, I would throw out everything else and just create from that space. And I'll show you guys an example. Oh, here. I'm going to show you guys an example. Here's my map. This is my, like, I'm just mapping out my vision board. This is what it looks like. Okay, guys? So Post-it notes. You make sure you have Post-it notes. So like I have pink, yellow, and green, and blue. Like I have 4 different colors. And so like up here are the different life areas that I really wanted. So like spirituality and intuition, I definitely want to keep that as part of my process of like my life in 2024. That's part of my vision. Also my health. I'm going to be 40 in February. So I'm like, I got to get going with that physical health a little bit better, and exercising more, because I wasn't. I mean, I tried kickboxing and I just can't go twice a week. And then my identity and self-concept. This is a big one for me this year too. Of who am I? Who am I going to be in 2024? Like, what is it that who am I showing up as? Like, why am I showing up? Like, I'm just really big on my self-concept right now, because that is what drives us to do shit. If we think that we're not capable, then we're not going to fucking do anything, you know? And then financial, of course. I'm sorry, but money is spiritual, and I'm going to make a lot of it. And we all are. If you want, I don't care. I will, because I'm going to have amazing experiences, and it's going to happen. I believe it. I'm going to raise my credit score even more, and I'm going to save even more, and I'm going to pay off debt. And that's my focus this year, is to pay off debt, not to make more. It's to just get rid of the debt that I have, and then start to and also a specific financial goal. Ready? Here's a specific financial goal. So what I did is I put the CBT, I put circumstances, thoughts, feelings, behavior, and experience, or the result that I want. And then underneath this, so right here, so what experience do you want? You guys tell me one experience you want to have in 2024, and I'll help you do this. If somebody wants to share, or even on the replay when you're watching this, let me know, and I'll tell you, or I won't tell you, but I'll coach you exactly what you need to do to get to that result. All right. So the result that I want to be able to reach more people and grow my impact. Okay. I want to reach more people and grow my impact. Okay. So what is an action I need to do? All right. Well, I need to start my podcast. I want to start a podcast, which I don't know if I put that on here. I think I did. I want to start my podcast. Okay, well, how do I need to feel to start my podcast? I need to feel motivated and confident. Okay, well, what thoughts do I need to, what beliefs do I need to believe and think in order to feel confident to start that podcast? And that is, other people want to hear my message. People are waiting to hear my message, or I am doing a disservice by not sharing my message, by not doing a podcast. Like those types of things, right? Another one, so I want to practice coaching, helping them change people's life. I want to practice coaching, or I want to coach with my coach without feeling stressed. So what do I have to do? I want to pay in full for 6 months. That's my goal. That's my action. I need to pay in full for 6 months so I don't feel stressed at paying my coaching every month. That's what happened this month. Is I couldn't pay it because I had all the things and I couldn't pay it. And I felt like shit. And I'm like, oh my gosh, because now that's a priority for me. That's a value for me. Coaching changed my life. Life coaching is like a hidden gem. And therapy is amazing and everyone can do therapy as well. Therapy it can go into one another, but coaching like moves people. Like it's like it helps us evolve as a species. Like if humans don't evolve, the world will stay the same. So just think about that. If you want to be comfortable and live your life and struggle and stay in your comfort zone, that's also how your grandkids are going to be. And that's how the next one's going to be. Like there is going to be no evolution in your genes. And that's just not what you were born for, or else you wouldn't be here if you weren't supposed to like do big things and have a message to share, and you aren't valuable to the evolution of this planet. 100%. So does that make sense for everybody to help to see what my process is right here with the Post-it notes? And the reason we use Post-it notes is because then you can change them around. If you change your mind, like, they don't all have to be like, and then the habits. So what is the higher self habit I need to do every day? I need to have a soul practice at least once a week. That's going to keep me focused. Or a habit of reading at night, whatever that, I don't know, or writing in my journal, or going exercising, taking a walk around the block once every morning. That's definitely a habit I want to get into. So, and then the bottom down here, your energetic foundation is the most important thing. Like none of this can happen if this isn't, your energetic foundation is all out of whack. You're not going to do any of this. So that's where we start, is releasing the old and healing, right? Okay. So Jen, do you want to talk a little bit about your situation like we were earlier? Or Darla, do you want to share with Jen if she's still paying attention?
Of course I'm paying attention.
Are you done wrapping presents?
No, never.
Never.
No, that's
Okay.
the best ever.
So Darla, go ahead and share earlier. I know you guys were talking about the chaos, how you can be like a chaos creator.
Well, it just I guess everything really goes back to the root chakra, and the main energy in that is acceptance. That's like, regardless of what your circumstances are, they always, you always think of your security and fear and all these things in the root chakra, but it's acceptance. So being able to accept that chaos is an energy, is a positive energy, regardless of what it looks like or feels like in your life. And being able to do what you said is be the watcher. So it's kind of like when people have near death experiences, and you have your life and it's all going on, but you're looking down on it. so you're not involved in what's going on. So being able to keep yourself and not separated from it, but uninvolved in it. Makes sense.
Right. Right. And that's the one thing that I'm trying to overcome, is to not allow their negativity or their being disapproved or whatever to come into my positivity and how I feel about things. If that makes any sense.
Yes, it does. And I think you do a good job of that, by the way.
I'm trying. It gets difficult, especially knowing the people that you thought were really close.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? This is a big part of creating because this workshop, this training isn't just for anybody. I want to just say this, okay? Like, this is for you guys are wanting to be in alignment with who you really are, but also to be in your highest potential of what it is you're here to bring to the world. And so other people that have been, and you've had a spiritual awakening. Most of us here have had some sort of awakening or shift or death, right? Like something that happened and now my life doesn't look the same as it did before. So now who am I? Like, it's that. So, and was just what, a year and a half ago, Jen. So
a little over a year.
A little over a year ago. And so you're still discovering, not still, I think that part of you that was in that story is not there anymore.
Right.
Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just to know that it's went as far as it's went in this last year. I am forever grateful for you, first off, because you pulled me through
for you.
Some heller shit. Some really big shit.
I will always do that. That's what I'm here for.
But to see how much my life has changed and for the better. It got rocky for a minute. I got depressed. I was in a bad spot for a minute. But
and I'm glad that you bring that up, because it's not all sunshine and roses, you guys.
No.
And you all know that here.
Right.
Abby,
and now,
Darla, you guys know that it's freaking hard. And I mean, feeling, then that's like, you're not, but that doesn't define who you are by those feelings. And I think, do you think that's what kind of shifted for you, was like, this is an experience that I'm having, not a night.
I had to take it like you told me how to take it. This is just part of your story, and you're gonna have that story for the rest of your life, and it's just how you tell that story that makes it make sense.
Right.
And I know a lot of people don't believe in God, or however they believe in whatever they want, so don't quote me on that, but I feel that I was put in that situation and given the situation I'm given now.
And even
just
even if it doesn't, but believing that, what you just said, that you were put that for a reason, doesn't that feel a lot fucking better than I'm just horrible and God is punishing me by putting me in it or whatever? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's like, whatever the fuck you want to believe, as long as it helps you feel better about and actually pushes you forward to use that experience to help somebody else eventually. And right now, like, if it doesn't have to be to help somebody else, like, I want to say that too, because I know that, like, we don't always have to use everything we've been through to go help somebody else. I just want to really, like, that's a big thing for me. At the end of this year, of like, I was so like, I'm gonna heal and then I'm gonna help other people, and I was like on this roll and going, and then it's like, but wait a minute, I want some of that for my, like, I don't know, I'm just not in that place anymore to where I feel like, but so anyway, it's like,
I'm not selfish, but I'm out for me too.
right. Yeah. Yeah,
Most definitely.
right.
You
Yeah,
you
this,
you
go
heal
ahead.
by helping other people.
It's overwhelming,
Yeah.
but you just have to put your mind to it.
Sometimes,
You have to learn,
I think sometimes,
you have to learn where your energy goes
right?
and not let it consume you. And you've taught me that, you know, choosing what you put your effort into
Mhm.
helps a lot.
Instead of feeling like, and like having to put your, like Darla, even with your situation, you know, with your situation, like as a grandparent, I know my mom felt obligated to have to help, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of, I can choose if I do, and if I don't, it doesn't mean I'm a bad person. So, not
You know
saying
what?
that's what, but I mean,
Right.
you know?
What irritates me now is the fact that I've lived 15 years of pure hell to be happy a year later. You know what I mean? Like that's
Oh, I
just
know exactly what you mean.
that's just
Exactly.
crazy to me.
I was
to know,
so mad for so long. Yeah. Does it make you kind
you
of mad?
know,
Made me mad a little bit.
it does. And you know, I'm trying to forgive myself when it comes to that because I didn't get to live my best life. You know what I mean? Like I lived it for somebody else and under somebody else for so long that now I'm seeing what it's like on what I gave them, I'm getting back.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
It. Yes,
I'm learning.
you are, but you're amazing. And that's
Thank you.
exactly what I mean. Like, and this isn't the short-term game. This is long-term transformation. And that's what a lot of people just don't like. They need the shiny object and, oh, this is what, I mean, I was in this, like, I have been addicted to learning for like 5 years and that's why when like Abby started coming in and I saw, like, I've met with her and like, I see just so much of what she does is like, I know exactly like feeling that like we want to know all the things, like, I don't know, we just go on this like,
Do you love cooking?
it like opens up this whole new world for me. It did anyway, of like my potential and
On the
energy
magic carpet ride,
and the
Aladdin.
magic carpet ride. So what's something what's your vision for 2024? One to three things that you want to create in 2024,
A home.
or maybe more of, even create more of something.
A home.
Okay. Because that's a value for you, right? Home
Very.
and family are a big value for you, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So that makes sense. That's your motivation.
Hoping to move by the end of 2024.
Okay. So what's that going to look like for you? What kind of house are you wanting? Where are you wanting it at? What is the action you're going to have to take to do that?
In the country, I'm about to pay some bills off. Big house, all the kids.
Okay. Well, there you go. Start putting that on your vision board, and then the value, then we'll do, and you work with me, so, or you're at Turning Point, so we definitely can do a session on this.
Most
Because
definitely.
that's when it's fun, you guys. It's fun to do this with a coach. This is what I love to do with my coach, is this, because then she asks me questions that I wouldn't have asked myself. And it's like, I can see things that you guys, you know, I'm the mirror, right? I'm not doing it. I'm pulling it out of you, but it's like, that's what I love coaching for, is them asking me questions. I love, because then that makes my brain start to work differently. But anyway, Darla, what about you? What's one thing you're going to create?
I think more peace.
Okay. What's that going to look like?
um, it's going to look like less conflict with the whole grandkids situation. I mean, like
Okay.
it's so. See, I don't. That implies that I can control somebody else, but so I don't know how it. I guess it's just how I have to change how I feel.
So what will that allow you to do for feeling, if you feel more peace, what will that allow you to do in your life?
Be more present because my mind isn't over here thinking about all of, what's happening with the grandkids and how can I fix it and all,
Okay.
all of the
So
things.
the control with that, because that's what that is control.
Right, but I don't have any control over that, what
Right.
they're doing. I only just have the control over
Right.
what I'm doing with my own mind, my own emotional body.
Right. Right.
So just,
But
I mean, I guess right back down to the basics of everything is practicing presence and then making that presence be peaceful as opposed to emotional. I mean, like a chaotic thing. Because you're thinking about what about this and what about that and what about this. So
right.
Just being present so you can stop that what they call the monkey mind.
Yeah, the monkey
going
mind.
from, going from one thing to the other to the next, and so you don't have any of that focus that you were talking about. Like if you're thinking about your goal for 10% of the time, then you're not going to get 100% of the goal. You're only going to get 10% of it. So
right. So what do you think so what's the story? If you like this is like homework. I would want, like, whenever you start to focus on something else, whenever you're worried about what's going on with the grandkids, if you were to stop doing that, I'm just curious if there's like a thought that comes in that grandmothers are, because my mom, like I said, my mom deals with the same, or used to. Actually, my mom would be a good one to talk to about this, because my mom just plain cut it off. Now she has a lot of peace. And because I've never been there, so my mom might be a good one to talk to sometime. I'll talk to her, but like, because there's somewhere where, I mean, are you saying that a good grandma worries or whatever? I don't know if that'd be the thought, but I mean, when you just stop, like, if you can focus on something else, I mean, do you just not feel like you can get it out of your head? Is that?
Part of it, because my grandchildren are babies, so it's different when they're older. If you got 10, 11, 12, 15-year-olds that you're dealing with, to me, that's different because they can have more of a choice, but whereas my little granddaughter, who's not even 2 yet, she can't choose to try to go to grandma's house instead of being where it's a bad situation. If I don't take her and bring her to me, then she's stuck in this chaos that she doesn't really deserve, because she's
okay. Well, then what if she's just part of your story right now? Maybe maybe you don't need to resist it. Maybe that is just what you're meant to do right now.
Well, that's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
But which is frustrating because it's just like, oh, you're going to do this good, then you just do it. And so they take advantage without having any giving me any respect or any consideration in anything.
There we go. Okay.
I mean, it's just like, dude, I'm over here too. I'm involved in this. So you can't make plans and change them and not tell me. And then when I say this is bullshit, you say, I don't even know why you're acting that way. It's like,
Yeah.
because I'm a person and I'm involved in this.
Right.
So
And you are trying to set boundary. I mean, you have been doing that work this year.
right. And which is like, okay, so yes, I'll keep her till Sunday. Well, and when Sunday comes, we're just not coming to pick her up.
Right.
So what do you do? Sit her out on the curb?
Right.
No, then you have to deal with that, you know. So it's not like I can go about the rest of what I had planned for Monday and Tuesday, because now I have her, because they just decided they're not showing up. They something else came up for them, and their child isn't a priority because they're being taken care of by you. So just keep taking care of them. It's just like, really, that's the frustrating part, is I don't mind doing it. I definitely mind being used and taken advantage of because I choose to be helpful. It's like, so, which is what just happened this last weekend, is that they were supposed to come pick up the kids. Well, we only want Edwin, so we're only picking him up. Like,
wow.
I was supposed to have this week without Elise because I have things planned. Well, sorry, we just don't want her. We can't have her. Her other grandma don't want her. It's like,
wow.
Okay, because other grandma only wants the 5-year-old that she doesn't have to do anything with but sit in front of a screen and give a phone to. You know, they don't want, he can go get his own snacks and eat bullshit all day long. Whereas the baby, you have to feed her, you have to change her diaper, you know, you're like, you should be responsible for her. And they you know,
I dealt with that too.
Yeah, the other grandmas don't want to be responsible. They just want to feel like that they're being a grandma because they're, you know, I mean, Edwin, I'm the bad Gigi in Edwin's life because I make him eat healthy food. I don't let him watch TV, you know, and so he never wants to be with me because everybody else doesn't give a shit about him and lets him do whatever he wants. So it's like, so when I do get him, I get a lot of grief, but I know it's better for him.
Right. Jen, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I dealt with that same thing with the whole other grandparents and my boys. I regret that I have allowed them to live that life where someone else was more important than them. My boys and Gage was accepted into my family as mine, whereas my 3 wasn't accepted at all in the other family. So I can understand where you're coming from on that, because he got everything he wanted, and then when he came here, he acted entitled, whereas the other 3 knew that's not how mom plays that. Yeah. So I understand that completely.
So I really think at the end of the day, then it's about looking at the control that you have, and you're aware of that. And again, it goes down to your values. Obviously they are, you and your Deanna, your values are way different. And also the time of life that you're, your kids are grown, like, and it's, so this would just require, and you just said more peace. What does that look like? That is a good place to start, of like, what does it look like for me to feel, for my life? Because for some grandparents, they are okay with this, what you're explaining, right? It's just some people are like, okay, whatever. I don't have a life. It doesn't matter. I don't value respect. I don't, not everybody does. It is specific to you or different to you because your values are different, and that's okay. Not different, but you have your values that are important to you. Respect and integrity are very important to you. And so,
but I will say it does come back to you when you keep your ground and you keep your boundaries, because now Gage's grandma raises him, but now she calls me to control Gage, whereas she does whatever, she can't control him no more because that boundary has been crossed to where, oh, I get by with everything with her. So now she'll call me and be like, hey, he's going through something. Can you handle this? Or can you take care of this? So it does come back to you where they see, oh, I screwed up by allowing them to do this for so long. I don't have any control, whereas you had the control the whole time. So stand your ground.
Right, but that just is the same thing. They've been irresponsible in trying to help you raise this kid, and now that they've had more influence on him and he comes up being out of line, now it's your place to fix it. And it's like, I didn't create this. So why do I have to fix it?
right. Okay.
You know, I'm not, I'm not, I don't think it's a plus for them to think about them coming to me when he's 15 and saying, what are we supposed to do with him? You should have beat his ass when he was 2. That's what you
I
should have
know.
done. You should have taught him how to behave when he was 2, and there's nothing that you can do about it now.
100%. Yeah.
I don't know. It's really frustrating because these are educated people. I'm this and I'm that. And I'm like, yeah, but you're not an aware person.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, again, it's just for you to go, what are the things that need to be, because if they can't drop, I mean, regardless of, and it's hard, especially when we know that the other people are not, like when Elise does go, like it is her safety. And you're right, she doesn't have a voice yet. And it does cause a lot of things. So as of right now, just to manifest, to start to bring that into your reality of what does peace look like for me? And if Elise has to be a part of it in some way, it is at the end of the day of like, whatever you're able, because if you put a ground, like you can't drop her, bring her over here or whatever, what would be the boundary you would have to create that would allow you to have the space to feel peace around this situation? What would be the boundary you would have to set? And if you're thinking, well, I can't, because then your brain goes into, well, if I said they can't, this is the time they can bring Elise here, and this is when they have to pick her up. And if they don't pick her up, then I won't watch, like when they come to pick her up next time, I'm not going to watch her anymore because you can't follow what it is. I mean, then that thought is like, well, then what's going to happen to her? Who's going to watch her? Does your brain go into all of that?
Of course it does.
Okay, so that's where we need to stop for a second, because that's assumptions, right? That's just thinking we know the future. We don't know the future. So, and like I've said earlier, like either you take her full time or you don't, you know what I mean? Like how can she get away from her mom? I don't know the whole and without getting into all the specifics right here, but it's just to bring the control back to what you're able to control, and then think of a boundary that you're going to have to set, or what that piece would even look like. Because right now you're probably like, why would I even think of what the piece would look like? It's not going to happen. Has that come in your brain?
No.
Okay.
No, but okay, so it goes back to, I know what it could look like, but it also, but then that goes against what I think that I'm supposed to be doing.
There we go. You just said
to
it.
help me.
You said supposed.
Yeah.
Post. Okay, so
For me, what I feel like I should be doing, and I
So
know
what's
you're not
that?
positioning yourself,
what's
is
that?
is be there for them because nobody else is. I mean,
Okay.
I'm in their life for a reason,
You
right?
are. I agree.
And to throw them into the chaos that creates damaged adults that can't heal. I mean, it's like, I don't know.
So
And their behavior makes me want to do back.
okay.
So that's really bad, is because they're supposed to come pick her up today, and I'm like, I've been 3 weeks without a coat and shoes because the last 3 times that you've brought her to me, she doesn't have a coat and shoes. So I'm not even going to send a coat and shoes back with you.
Right. There you go. You're becoming aware. You're aware of how they are. So like you're aware. So that's also why you're aware and you still take her. So when they don't pick her up at that point, you were aware of that, right? You're aware that they probably won't pick her up when they say they're going to.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So at that point, you just kind of, I guess, and I'm not saying that you should be okay with it, but you do know what they're like.
Right.
And, and I think at that point, it's just saying, okay, I have to either, and here's what I want to say, and this is really important as far as when we're in situations like this. Again, I have to choose what I'm going to focus on, and I have to choose the story I'm going to tell myself about this, because they could not come get her, and instead of you being angry or saying they're neglectful and they're doing this and now I can't go do this. Okay, well, you can turn it around to, okay, I'll just get to spend some more time with her, or I can still go do whatever. I guess we'd have to talk more about what that does keep you from doing by still having her.
Work.
Work. So then do you have a babysitter? Do you have somebody else you can get, that can keep her so you can go do that, because you're aware of what could possibly be happening when they drop her off?
Okay, yes. I mean, I have my 2 teenagers that I have to go do this, so you have to watch her. It's not their responsibility to take care of her.
Okay, but you know what?
Put that on them.
But that's not on you to say that. You ask them if they would. Doesn't matter if it's on them or not.
And no is the answer.
No is the answer. Okay.
No is the
well,
answer.
They can do that.
They have the right to do that.
Then we'll ask somebody else.
There's nobody else. Okay. I don't have nobody.
So really what we have to get to is a way to think about this that is going to keep you from being in this space. Because if there's no solution, there has to be a different story. There has to be a different narrative that we tell ourselves. So then our vibration doesn't stay there. And you hold up a lot of resentment, anger, frustration. I mean, in this vibration right now is not a vibration you can create in. It's just not. And it's not serving you being in this space. Is it?
No.
Okay.
No.
So that's what so there has to be some sort of solution to where either you, and I've said this many times, I've said this, when we don't like something, either we leave the situation. These are 2 things we can always do when we don't like a situation or like something. We can leave and we can just get it out of our life, or 2, we change the way we're thinking about it. Those are the only 2 things we ever can do, ever, is either get it out of our life or change the way we're thinking about it. Now that is where all the rewiring and this might sound crazy, but it is bad for me not to, or whatever this is a minute ago when you said supposed to, I forget what it was, but there are these narratives that we think are normal, or we should, or the girls are but that's not their responsibility. Is it? You asked them. If they said no, that's good. Okay. It's say yes. Okay. They are willingly saying, I will what? So it's not your responsibility until you made it your responsibility, until, you do let her stay there. You do let her come over there. You do watch them. you are their grandmother, so you should have that. An ideal world, you could love your grandkids and then they're picked up at the time that they say they're going to. But that's not right how it is. I
No.
mean, it's just not, unfortunately. And I don't know a bunch about the dad. I thought the dad was pretty, isn't he?
He
Pretty good.
he was trying to be until his girlfriend got a full-time job and left him with Elise. And now he doesn't want the girl child. He only wants his son.
Okay.
So,
well,
and Elise is a girl and she should be living with the girls, and you have 3 women in your house, so she needs to go live with you. Well, I don't mind taking her when you need me, but for you to just leave her and just don't come back for her.
Right.
I mean,
so now though, you know that that's what happens, right? Now you know that's what you're aware of what's happening now.
My issue is what's going on with her when she's not with me.
Okay, but you have no control over that.
Right. So the way I can fix that is to have her with me.
Okay. So you either have her with you and feel good, because she can feel you feeling this way as well.
No, right. Well, okay, so it's not my feelings as much as it's my thoughts.
Okay.
Because I mean, we have fun, we do things, it is good that I don't like her mother is like so depressed and so
right.
full. So when she gets her, she just holds her and cries.
Yes. And I know what you mean. You are a fun grandma, but I think it's just that narrative of, okay, I'm worried about her when she's not here, but when she's here and she's not picked up, then I feel this way. Do you see where it's like to find that?
I totally understand.
Okay. So we definitely need to do a session on this together. Okay. To go deeper into this. As far as like clearing some energy and things is what I'm feeling of like clearing the energy around just a lot. I just feel a lot of blockage of like with all of this. It's almost keeping you from being able to think
so I could, just because of what you just said, I'm like, oh, it's because of not being taken care of when I was little that makes me feel so desperate to make sure she feels like she's being taken care of.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, like you know how you just answer your own questions when you're sitting with you. So
that inner child work is I'm telling you, that inner child work is always gonna be something we do. Always.
Well, at the root. It's always at the root.
It's always at the root.
And I mean the root of whatever, not just your root chakra, but like.
No, exactly. It's at the base. I mean, it's literally, at the root.
Foundation.
Yes, the foundation. Correct. Yes. Yeah.
So. Okay.
Okay.
Right. I mean, but so then, what do you do with that?
What do you do with that? Well, I have inner child sessions we can do.
Okay.
You need to get a picture of you as a child. Do you have a picture of you as a child?
Not before grade school.
Okay, grade school. Let's do grade school.
There's the one picture that was around the house of me as an infant.
Yeah.
Had my name written on it with a question mark.
Okay, get that one. And this, for anybody that is wondering, like maybe doing inner child work is on your vision board for 2024, because that is going to be a relationship that is going to be vital to our ability to co-create in our life, is because as you have just seen with this example with you, Darla, of it will literally keep you from moving forward on something. Like literally. Is she right there? Is Elise there?
Just came in the door.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. So, I was like, I want to see her, but it's okay. It's okay. I'll see her another time. But all right, to wrap this up, Abby, do you have any questions or anything that you need or nothing? Are you what? Are you just going through your months now? Are you just journaling away?
Kinda, yeah. So I just I did, since I don't have my board with me, I simplified,
Okay.
I've read it 5 times from like scribbles
I
and
think
notes.
we're gonna do again. I'm gonna do one specifically just with the board because this was more of a pre to that.
So
Okay.
one thing, I started with December and November, and even though I don't have a goal, I started with results. So what I
Yes.
want now versus what I want next year. Next year I want Christmas and Thanksgiving to be peaceful. So
I
how am I
love
gonna
it.
accomplish that? I'm gonna spend January and February simplifying my home, our relationships, our schedule, my social media or phone in general. I'll look for cute little baby. Just be
Oh, there
distracted.
she is. Okay, go
And
on.
then since it's the root chakra, grounding myself in doing this and grounding myself in the habits, grounding myself in present moment and just making sure I have just that to focus on January,
Yeah.
February. It's grounding my habits, grounding my thoughts, and then simplifying those things, just constantly simplifying my life. March and
Yeah.
April, once all that's cleared, I can start raising my feelings and frequencies, starting with a self-care routine, which I'd already started a nightly routine of making sure I light a candle, romanticize reading. I want to make sure I read 10 minutes a night.
Yeah.
So then I do have my daily, which I've been doing
Yes.
already. I'm on day 30 again, but before that I did like
Yeah.
200 days, 100 and oh, and then I did it again for 14 days, and then 186 days is what I made it to last year.
Okay.
So I want to keep back up on my journaling, but then I incorporated for Christmas, making sure I do my AM journal and my PM because I do not have a nighttime routine. I like to just crash.
Yes. Yep. It's okay.
So then May and June, I'll just be focusing on everything I've already built up to just letting it be, just letting situations be, just being in the situations, which again, grounding myself in the moment.
Well,
So
yeah.
this is more of not having to intentionally be like, okay,
And also,
hopefully.
isn't that the time when you have like a are you kind of
This is my low.
low
Yes.
time?
So
So you
having
know
a
that.
self-care,
Yeah.
setting it
Yeah.
up now so that it'll be new then and be like a new motivation,
Yes.
kind of something to switch up, which takes me to May, June when it's really nice out. Or June, July, I want to enjoy, which I can keep moving things around, but this is just like my outline.
Absolutely.
So enjoying like the moons, the sunrise, the sunsets. It's going to be summer. I'll be off of work with the kids, so I can like just go. Painting, photography, which the heart and sacral chakra during this time, my
Okay.
heart chakra would be like, if this is making me happy, I want to keep doing it. And so
Right.
enjoying
Yeah.
it is the heart chakra
Right.
part of it. September and October, only saying yes to what I want. So more of a detox again,
Mhm.
making sure my schedule isn't going to go crazy again, especially around Halloween, school
Yes.
starting, Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up. So then one thing I did was like with Christmas wanting to be less stressful next year, I have a monthly plan of buy one gift a month, either 25,
That's a
50
good idea.
bucks.
Mhm.
And splitting it up. So January, I'm going to buy for my sister-in-law, February brother-in-law, and then as it gets closer, then I'll do the kids on my side,
Yeah.
just because they'll be closer to Christmas and their
Right.
likes are less likely to change.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of what I've been working on. And every
Well,
time you
there
guys
you
say things and it
yes.
like pops up in my mind, I'll do it again.
Then do it again. And then when you create that, so have you created a vision board before?
Not fully into this extent, I guess.
Okay. Okay,
But
cool.
yes, I kind of talked about when I first started like
Yeah.
hypnotizing myself or like getting into this. I did at first, yes. I manifested
Okay.
the house I bought at
Yes, I
26 and
did
my
do
husband, and
that. Yes.
I truly believe I did.
You did.
Without like physically writing it down or like just
Right.
random notes and random journals that I've kind
Yeah.
of collected and torn out so that I can put in a file together because they were in so many different books. I just grab a loose paper and write in it.
Yeah.
And
You
it would
know,
just be the craziest stuff about my job and like what kind of guy I wanted. And it's so
yes.
funny to look back at.
And so you had that vision, but like, even if for anybody that has a hard time, can you visualize? Can you
Yeah, I
visualize
think so.
things? Okay.
It's more the feeling it. I
Okay.
can visualize.
You
I
can
just can't feel
visualize, but
that.
it's the
Yeah.
feeling, right? That's right. Okay. And so for anybody that does have a hard time visualizing, I want, like, think about, like, so you want a house, right? Or like you want to manifest this house, or what does your front door look like without actually looking at it right now? What does it look like? Like, we all visualize in a way that, like, it might be different from one another, that doesn't look the same, but we do have this intention, which that's what Abby, you're talking, like, you've had this intention to create this in your life. You know that this is what you want. And so going even back to those 3 questions of, what do I want? What do I not want? What do I want instead? Those 3 questions are like, if, all the time. What is that, Milo? So, okay. Thank you for sharing that with us, Abby, so much. I can't wait to see how things go.
I'm
So
100% jealous that you got the whole year out.
yes. Are you jealous of her?
Absolutely.
Of what?
That you have the whole year mapped out already?
Yeah, that's
Thanks on it.
crazy.
Yeah.
I'm
So
trying
So
to
I
get
have
through
to find
Christmas.
fun, creative ways of like releasing my dopamine and marking it off. So I did this journal last year, and
Yes.
180 days is a little over half the year. So it worked, but I don't think it's the best thing for me. I do like writing random notes, so I think I'll keep a journal, but
Yeah.
I'd like to be able to minimalize this stuff and put it
Yeah.
on like a desk calendar. So then I can
Okay.
sit down and check.
Also,
And
you
then be
can
done.
get these are big Post-its, you guys. Like that's a big Post-it. This is a big Post-it. Like, I get them from hold on. This is what I did here. This is a big Post-it, sticks on the wall. And so that's how I always write stuff out, so I can see it, right? I have to visually be able to see, which I write a bunch of notes too all the time. And I have poster boards that I've created, because like that creative, like doing that, like what you're doing, just writing it all out like that is what starts to bring it into reality, right? Is like
You can feel
writing
it
down.
You can't text it. You have to write it.
You have to
And you
write
can, like,
it.
feel
I
it
agree.
differently.
It is not, I can't type it. I have to write it, and I have to and then with Post-it notes, it's like, especially when it just helps to map things out with Post-it notes and organize it, I guess. And with having different color Post-it notes and then organizing it that way. And then, but again, it's the belief behind taking the action, right? And the action could just be watching, or listening to a podcast, or watching a Facebook Live from me or someone else or whatever. But because our daily life, unless everyone else in our life is doing the exact same thing we're doing, unless everybody else is creating visions and raising their vibration and paying attention to what they're thinking, we can get off track, because that's not the norm for everybody. That this isn't normal life for everybody around us, but that doesn't mean it can't be normal life for us. And I think for this year, I'm going to be more intentional with that. And if you ever put away your vision board because you don't want anyone else to see it, please do not do that this year. I am begging you. Plaster it wherever you can see it. Don't hide. And if you do feel like you need to hide your hide your desires, then let's do a coaching session on that, because that's something deeper, right? And that is what is stopping you from it really becoming reality. So, all right. Well, thank you, ladies, so much for hanging out with me today. And anybody that is watching the replay, and hopefully by the end of this, you have either a good idea of what the 3 things that you want to create in 2023, I'll go over real quick these beliefs I said. So believe in yourself, right? How do we do that? Find the evidence of you already creating something in your life. That is how we create that belief in ourselves, that you're already doing, you're doing the things you say you're going to do, right? Find that evidence. That's how you can start to believe in yourself. And then 2, think beyond your current circumstances. What's happening right now is not what's going to be happening in a year unless you want it to, right? But that is a belief. And then another one is release the past stories of your identity that are limiting you from thinking bigger and doing the things that you're wanting to do. And 4, I can choose where my focus goes. I can focus on drama, or I can focus on a solution. That's really always the 2 choices for a focus. I'm going to focus on the problem of what's happening, or I'll focus on finding a solution. Like, Darla, I think that's a good one for you too, of not focusing on the problem so much, but shifting, because that's what I was doing. I was focusing on the problem, and it kept me in the problem until I shifted to, and it was, when when taking down all my links over the last 3 weeks, it devastated me. I thought I was gonna just not show up anymore because they were taking everything down. And I did. I was depressed for 2 days, but then I got up and I started doing shit again. But so do that, and then 5. Oh, sorry, I did
Netflix, Unicorn Academy.
also
Unicorn
managing
Academy.
your emotions. That's another one. Managing your emotions is another skill, I would say, not just a belief. I don't know if I said that earlier, but knowing how to be with your emotions and how to just allow your feelings to be how they are, but to take them as information and not personal. So that's going to really help a lot too. And then nothing is good or bad. It's all info, right? It's all valuable information, all total acceptance. So, and then connect and channel through your chakras, your values and beliefs, set your goals, 3 to 5, break them down. I can help you do this in a coaching session, break them down to quarterly, monthly, weekly, and then daily habits. And then 5, create the vision and the value board. Okay. And we can do this together. Let me know if you'd like to have a coaching session. If you're watching this, if you watch the replay, we can do a one-on-one coaching session to specifically, it'll be a 30-minute laser coaching where we do this specifically and just roll it out, right, of what we're going to do. And then, yeah, so I will show you guys when mine is done, and then we can, whatever you guys want to do. Okay. So you guys have a good Christmas. Thanks,
Nikki.
You're welcome.
Guys.
Love you guys. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Bye.